Hey guys, what's up? This is Blaze the Movie Fan, and it's time for another commentary. This time I'm going to commentate on a video that I agree with. It's been long since I've made a commentary on a video that I agree with. In fact, I haven't done it once this year. So it's been over half a year since I last did a commentary on a video that I agree with. So what video am I going to do commentary on? Well, it's a video where someone defends Family Guy. And let me tell you, I'm so happy I found that video. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge fucking fan of Family Guy. That should be no secret to most of you. It is in fact my second most favorite television show. My favorite one is obviously Pokemon. Anyway, I got a lot to say, so let's just start this video.
Hey there, Super Funny Bros here with a video that I've thought about making for quite a while, and that is to defend one of the most controversial and debatable shows, Family Guy. Now, I'm a big fan of Family Guy. I enjoy the show, and I like Seth MacFarlane with his talent and what he stands for. With that said, let me be clear on something. I am not one of those fans that say it's the best show ever or that anyone who hates it has no sense of humor.
Are there really fans of Family Guy who assume that anyone who doesn't like it has no sense of humor? To be honest with you, fans like that really make me ashamed of being a Family Guy fan. To those fans who assume shit like that, let me tell you something. Just because someone doesn't find something funny that you find funny doesn't mean that they have no sense of humor. It just means that they have different opinion.
I do feel that this show has a sense of worth and should continue to thrive on television. I have not seen many videos of people actually having the gall to stand up against these rants and make a counter-argument. Not to mention that some of these rants are either full of biased opinions or too short. I feel like I'm this one single person that's going against a big crowd that thinks otherwise.
I felt exactly the same way until I found your channel.
I might have like one or two other people on my side, but I still feel alone on this. What I will be doing in this video is to discuss the 5 most popular arguments that everyone seems to have a problem with when talking about Family Guy. I hope this will enlighten you as to why this show deserves to stay until it retires, not by cancellation or being banned.
And you did a fantastic job with this video, because I agree with everything that you say in it.
So let's get started. Number 1. The character change. After Family Guy's 3rd season, it was cancelled simply because of poor ratings on Fox.
That makes sense. I mean, why would a network wanna keep a television show with low ratings?
After the show aired reruns on Adult Swim and have gotten a huge profit on DVD sales, Family Guy was revived in 2005 and still runs new episodes to this day.
And that's why DVDs are so fucking awesome.
Now, many people have criticized that apparently the Griffin family got a drastic character change after this revival. Now, I can agree with Stewie and Brian's character changing, which I will talk about later in this video. But the rest, especially Peter, had no significant changes whatsoever.
You're absolutely right. Peter is still the same fucking idiot he always was.
Opponents say that Peter became dumber, Lois is acting like a sex symbol, and that Chris has also become dumber. Peter was always dumb since the very beginning.
Not to mention, being dumb is the whole point of Peter's character. He's supposed to be a fucking idiot for comedic purposes. Now, whether or not you find his stupidity funny is all up to personal opinion. But I personally find it very fucking hilarious how dumb that fucking idiot Peter Griffin is.
For Lois and Chris, they may be a whore or a complete dumbass, but they are more involved in the show than before it was cancelled. Back then, I felt they had little to no character, which was really pathetic considering they are part of a family that this show revolves around on, and it just revolved mostly around Peter instead.
Exactly.
And you know what? I think that's the reason why Family Guy was cancelled and why it got poor ratings. Lack of character. In newer episodes, they're fresh, they are more involved in the episodes, and they have developed characters.
I, for one, am happy that Chris and Lois are now a big part of the show, because I personally think that they are fucking up some characters.
Now, as for Meg, you're probably going to hate me for this, but I really don't care about her at all. People have been feeling sorry for her because the family, especially Peter, abuse her and she gets treated like crap by everyone. The thing is, Meg is so normal and dull while everyone around her is the exact opposite. It makes her different. It would make sense that everyone picks on her.
Now, at first, I felt sorry for her as well, but come to think of it, you're right. She is indeed a very boring character, and that's exactly the reason why everyone treats her like crap.
Number 2. Stewie Sexuality. After the show's revival, people argue that Stewie has become a homosexual and has strayed away from being just an evil and diabolical baby. Well, according to Wikipedia, Seth MacFarlane and his crew agreed that his jokes were starting to feel dated and settle with changing his personality a bit. And you know what? I thought it was a good move. Now don't get me wrong, I did enjoy Stewie as this generic evil genius inside a toddler's body, but I then felt that his jokes were falling short. Also, Stewie may be ambiguous with his sexuality, but that doesn't mean he's gay because Stewie never declared it. I think people have also complained about Stewie being a total wuss, which is probably a factor of his supposed sexual identity. Okay, did it ever seem to process in your mind that he acts like this because he's a baby?
Exactly. It's stupid to complain about Stewie Griffin acting like a baby, because he fucking is one.
He acts like one, he cries like one, and he is annoying like one. Even though he is this evil baby, Seth MacFarlane decided to be a little realistic with Stewie and give him a weakness, which is the behavior and attitude of a baby because that is what he is. So bottom line, Stewie's new personality isn't really a big deal as people say it is. Number 3. Brian and politics. People have complained that Brian has been used by Seth MacFarlane to simply throw politics onto the show. True, there have been episodes where Brian has addressed about legalization of marijuana, gay marriage, and more importantly, atheism, because MacFarlane is in fact an atheist and made an episode involving Brian being ridiculed and treated as an outcast for being one. So I can agree that there are indeed politics in the show. But don't you think that maybe Family Guy is also political satire?
Well, Family Guy is a comedy show, so of course it's making fun of politics.
This show is using these topics of agenda as a means to entertain, not to make you think differently from what you originally believe or to purposely be offensive. Besides, you're the one watching this show, so it's not his fault. Having Brian as his liberal atheist was a character change because before the show was canceled, he didn't have any political background and was this voice of reason. Well, I believe he suffered the same way Lois and Chris did. Lack of character. Brian being the left-wing atheist is a character. It may not be a positive character to some people, but it's better than none at all, don't you think?
You are absolutely right. It is important for characters of the show to have personalities. And personally, I don't mind Brian's personality. He is, in fact, a fucking awesome character, in my opinion.
Number 4. Humor. Family Guy is well known for its choice of humor, and that is its cutaway gags. This is what drives the show home with its humor and what first comes to mind when you think of Family Guy. Now, the opponents claim that these cutaways don't help push the plot forward, they don't seem to be funny period, and that the show focuses more on them than the actual plot.
Those cutaways are what I find fucking awesome about Family Guy.
Firstly, the cutaways are used so that the show has a leeway to present their jokes. Second, the humor of these gags really just depends on the person and whether or not you take these gags seriously. If you do, then I pity you from the bottom of my heart because they are not meant to. And if you can't take a joke, then you're no better than Sarah Palin.
Well, even though I find most of the cutaway gags to be fucking hilarious, there are some that are just meh.
My dad's an accountant, and my mom is the former governor of Alaska.
This world is full of cruel, cold-hearted people who would do such a thing.
This guy McFarlane who did this, is a hater.
Lastly, more recent episodes have shown that the plots are becoming stronger and offer a little bit less of cutaways. There are even a few episodes that have absolutely none. For example, in the episode Brian and Stewie, there are no cutaways, no music, it's just those two characters for a 30-minute long episode. It got positive reviews, specifically for the dialogue. This proves that the writers can make a decent episode without the use of cutaways.
Well, of course they can. And not to mention, if you remove all the cutaways from an episode, you will still see a good plot. So personally, I don't agree with the fact that the episodes have little to no plot. Yes, sure, the cutaway gags have nothing to do with the actual plot. But that doesn't mean there isn't any plot in the episode. If you want to see a show that has absolutely no plot, try Robot Chicken.
Which they won't, because the cutaways are what Family Guy is all about, and they want to keep their tradition.
Exactly, the cutaways are what makes Family Guy such a fucking awesome show in my opinion.
Now there's one last thing I should talk about before I move on, and it's the fight scenes between Peter and Ernie the giant chicken. People have argued that they're not funny and take up most of an episode. Well, I could agree that it's not funny, but the fact is it's not supposed to. It's meant to be an action-packed fight scene. And the longest fight is almost 5 minutes if you include the 50-second break between the fight.
I personally don't mind those fight scenes. In fact, I do find them entertaining.
And now we have reached to the last argument, and it's the best for last. Number 5. Family Guy's response to The Simpsons. Now this show has referenced Family Guy a few times, most notably from an episode of the Treehouse of Horror series, and the episode where Peter Griffin is being labeled as a plagiarist. Now Family Guy's response to them was to have Quagmire have sex with Marge Simpson in her home, and when Homer catches them, Quagmire shoots him and kills off the rest of the Simpson family. Not only did the Simpson fans rage over this, Fox banned the clip from showing on their network. Seth MacFarlane claimed this to be a completely biased move because Family Guy was censored for simply making fun of The Simpsons, while they made fun of Family Guy many times.
And personally, I agree with him.
Opponents claimed that it wasn't making fun of The Simpsons that got the scene banned, but because of how they did it. Okay, but you gotta understand that other classic characters like Yogi Bear and a few characters from the Looney Tunes have been killed and murdered before, and those scenes have not been banned.
Not to mention, there is a lot of other violence in the show.
It's not like The Simpsons are real people, but the fanboys of the show seem to make out this response as a real-life tragedy.
Those people just take the show way too damn seriously.
Now, I found this comment by a person named Hunter on an article where it had a video of Seth MacFarlane and a couple of his staff explaining the situation with Fox about the response. Here's what it says. This wasn't tasteless. It was hilarious. To say that South Park can kill off real-life celebrities and characters in obscure and violent ways for no reason, other than to be morbidly humorous, is quite hypocritical when at the same time you say that Family Guy is stupid for essentially doing the same thing to famous cartoon characters. South Park can kill Justin Bieber by squeezing him until his head explodes in a violent burst, but Seth MacFarlane can't shoot The Simpsons behind closed doors? Family Guy already has left a legacy, by the way. Its ratings have exceeded those of The Simpsons in recent times. The show uses relevant social and cultural references in its episodes, just as much as any other animated show. I'm not bashing South Park or The Simpsons, but honestly the shows appeal to certain people. And that, my friends, is called double standards.
Yeah, it is very hypocritical.
Quagmire killing off the Simpsons family is a double standard. It's considered funny to others, but others consider it tasteless or not funny. And Hunter's right. Shows should be allowed to respond to other shows in any way they want. And for people to think that Seth MacFarlane is bitching or being a whiner about it, I find to be hypocritical because they're the ones being upset over something that isn't a big damn issue.
Not to mention, Family Guy is a comedy show and it's not meant to be taken seriously.
If you don't like the joke, fine, but don't go off on a mindless tangent about how MacFarlane is this fabled douchebag because you can't handle what you see. And that's why the show gets criticized for the dumbest crap. It used to be for copyright infringement, but now the Parent Television Council is going after it because it's not suitable for family viewing, when in reality parents should be monitoring their kids when they watch TV, and that the show gives you fair warning about the content in each episode.
Exactly! Complaining about the show, saying that it's unsuitable for children, when there clearly is a disclaimer telling us that children shouldn't watch it, is like complaining that an R-rated movie is not suitable for children. And to be honest with you, I think that complaining about stuff like that is very stupid.
Like I said before, no one is forcing you to watch the show. If you don't like it, simply change the channel. So let's recap. Very little character change. Stewie is ambiguous, not a homosexual. The show uses political satire. Its humor is not to be taken seriously, and the obnoxious haters need to take it like a mature adult and move on. Also, you don't need fluent animation to express emotion. You have to take dialogue and voice acting into consideration as well. Sure, more animation will look better, but it's not required. Just because the animation doesn't look like the animation before cancellation does not mean it's shit. You're just making excuses to hate the show. One last thing that I need to say before I conclude this. Don't ever insult a man that you have never met in person.
Well, I think it's alright to insult someone I don't know in person if I have something to back it up. But making claims about someone that aren't true just isn't right.
And don't ever insult the fans either. because the most immature thing a human being can do is to insult someone who likes something that you don't.
Exactly. Insulting someone because they have different opinions is just fucking stupid.
So in conclusion, if you still hate this show with all your heart even after everything I've said, okay, I can't force you to think otherwise. If you want to make a rant about Family Guy or a response to this video, sure, go ahead. But make sure that it has valid points, no biased statements, and not half-assed like this.
Seth MacFarlane, what did you do to the series? It used to be so funny. I have nothing else to say.
Couldn't this guy have cut out all the pauses he made in that video? I mean, seriously.
This has been my defense video of Family Guy. Please tell me what you think about the show or my video in the comment section below. Questions and criticism will be 100% accepted. See you later.
I can almost hear the stillness as it yields to the sound of your heart beating. Bum, bum, bum.
Now it's time for my overall thoughts. Overall, this is a very well thought out video and I agreed with it 100%. You know, I really like making commentaries on videos that I agree with, because I don't know many commentators who do that. And that's why I think I'm creative by doing all that. That's all I gotta say, people. Thank you for watching and have a great day.